Credible Messenger Central reports War on Poverty. This month, a story breaking out in my hometown, Harlem. On July 26, 2022, at a local train station on 125th Street and Lexington Avenue, it was reported that a 16-year-old attempting to hop the train was pulled over by a police officer. Words were exchanged, and without a moment's notice, a fist fight broke out between the officer and a 16-year-old boy and his female companion. A credible messenger break from our regularly scheduled program. No disrespect, but Shorty washed that officer. And if someone didn't step in to help, Shorty would have probably spanked him and escaped the scene. That is for the moment at least, because ain't no damn way he was gonna get away with that. Everybody knows that. They would have just tracked him down from the cameras. Ain't nobody stupid. Back to our regularly scheduled program. The way they reported the news in mainstream, they always leave out the critical points that could give more context to a story. The news reported that a 16-year-old attempting to dodge an MTA train fare assaulted an officer.
Police officials say the officers were attacked after they spotted the teen jumping the turnstile with his girlfriend.
So what exactly is the real story here? The truth be told, it's too expensive to live in New York City for minorities. Don't let the minimum wage go up, because the price of everything else will go up as well. We already fell for that trick. Ain't doing it again. This is starting to appear like it's a war against poverty, and the enemy is the destitute and the underprivileged. The little boy, from what this story suggests, could not afford to pay the fare. What would have normally been a disappearance ticket, a misdemeanor, turned into a felony, an assault on a police officer. The people, minorities, New York City residents, young and old, and poor, are frustrated. Sure, there's enough responsibility to go around. He should have paid his fare. Any reasonable person will believe that. But what if he really didn't have the money? Should a keeper of the peace escalate it into a fistfight? And let's be honest, with the train fares going up to $2.75 per fare, it is difficult for many New York City residents post-COVID. People are struggling to afford the basic necessities like housing, food, and travel. The media literally demonized a little boy that likely could not afford a $2.75 train fare. From a credible messenger's perspective, what the minorities need from the city and the federal government is more employment development. And not just minimum wage jobs that cannot cover the cost of living, but develop a livable wage for minorities. Investment in a native minority population and prioritize startup funding for Black male businesses, an emergency pathway and access to economic development. We need more of a proactive approach to policing crime in low-income minority communities. We need to develop a common sense preventative approach. We should invest more in being proactive. For hundreds of years, we have invested most of our manpower, time, and currency in being reactive and punitive. That effort has failed horribly. Let us journey into the unimaginable. A new word, common sense. Let us focus on developing preventative programs with an emphasis on conflict resolution, mentoring programs that engage the high-risk population, accessible employment placement programs, vocational programs, and development in the tech industry. Some say that the definition of retardation is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. What does that say about the United States justice system in the year 2022? Common sense ain't common. Sponsored by. This production was sponsored by Confessions of an Abusive Man, a novel written by Amiri. This book is currently available on Amazon.com Links will be attached to the description below. Confessions of an Abusive Man, a novel based on a dysfunctional relationship between a man and a woman that are magnetically attracted to each other sexually. While they cannot keep their hands off each other, they are at odds in every other facet of their lives. Instead of ending it, they attempt to start a family and things get worse. She mentally abuses him and he strikes back by physically abusing her. When she leaves him, he goes insane in his attempt to find her. See what happens when he does find her in a whole new state with his children and a new lover. This novel is the first to have an online soundtrack on YouTube. Links will be attached to the description. Listen to the songs as you read for an interactive experience and connection with the characters. Never done before. Get yours now and strap in for the experience. Confessions of an Abusive Man by Amiri. Go to Amazon.com or www.atriskmovement.com for more info. Thank you for joining us. This is CMC, Credible Messenger Central. Real people, credible sources. My name is G.S. Brooks of the At Risk Movement, and I approve this message.